So, King Vegeta signing on, and today is going to be a different topic. And I want to talk about. So, I like reviewers in anime or just whatever genre it is, and I understand that sometimes they want, or the reviewers, people in general, just want stuff that is super complex, super deep, whatever the fuck. But sometimes you just need a simple character. Sometimes you need a character that's good for the sake of being good. For instance, you shouldn't need a reason to be a good guy or a bad guy. You shouldn't have to have deep, complex thoughts. It's a lot better when you do, but you shouldn't have to. For instance, you should be good for good's sake. At least for most superheroes and most characters that are in the anime verse, you do good because it's the right thing to do, not because like the way my childhood like and da 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 and da da da. No, you're a good guy because you're the main character, and like because you look at life a certain way because of how, yeah, for instance, how you were grown up, but that doesn't define who you are. For instance, most superheroes and villains that I really like have the same type of like backstory. For instance, like they have the same circumstances. Like Obito and Naruto have the same circumstances, but they completely separated. Like they didn't have the exact same circumstances. Like, Obito wasn't the fucking fourth Hokage or fucking third Hokage's son. Now it was fourth, but it wasn't his son, and he didn't have a fucking tail beast or whatever the fuck to get him out of situations where he wouldn't ordinarily. But my thing is like being good for the sake of being good is a good trait. Like, it's not fucking boring on its own. Like, it's not fucking what would you call it? A Mary Sue. Like, I wouldn't call it that just right from the rip. Like, you don't need a reason to not be an asshole or not be a rapist or not be a murderer. You don't need those reasons. You can give the reasons, but I mean, if you're, for instance, Goku never really had a good reason for protecting Earth and shit like that. Besides, oh, I like to fight and I have a family here. Like in Dragon Ball, he was just kind of doing his own thing. Like he didn't need a reason to be a good guy, but he had it. And for the most part, like he'd fight just to be fighting. But eventually, it came to him being kind of like a superhero type character. Yeah, Goku's not the fucking best character, and he's not an actual fucking superhero. But I mean, if a nigga show up and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna blow up the planet," Goku will probably put paws on him. My ultimate point is this: don't don't say, "Oh, this character is boring because he's good for the sake of being good." To me, those characters could work. Like they're the antithesis of what a good guy is. Like call it super bad syndrome or whatever the fuck you want to, but like those characters that are like moral, like reflections of what we want good to be. I feel like those are good characters, just like how the ones that are bad guys are more reflections of what we don't want to be. And it's just really stupid whenever people try to like say, "Oh, it doesn't belong."